Beautiful people, we are back with episode 3. Remember, we are chasing. We want to catch up with them. So, but anyway, welcome back to my channel and thank you for just being a part of what is happening right now. Before we begin, guys, can we start with this exercise? There's an exercise that I want us to do. Ne? Can we all participate in this exercise? So, I'm gonna ask for your finger, any finger, just get it ready, ne? And then you know when you're using a mouse or you using a phone, just do this thing where you can just scroll down to the part where there is a thumbs up, you know, a like, and then you just go click, you know, and just click it and say, okay, I like her, or I like the content because I keep coming, or you know what, I just like supporting people. Those are the likes, guys. Just between those options, you can choose which one in your heart that is like, okay, fine, she deserves a like because I just like supporting people, or I like her, I like for the algorithm to just, you know, take note of her, or I like her content. Actually, I like this girl, yes, there's something about her, you know, that like, can you please just click thumbs up, guys? And then secondly, I would like to do a shout out to Florence Banda. You know who you are, and you know why I'm shouting you out. But in essence, she's a viewer in the on the channel and was introduced by her boyfriend. Yeah, so it is just one of those things where I'm just like, oh, it's so heartwarming, and I just want to shout her out and say thank you, stay awesome, you and your man. So yeah, let's get into it. Anyway, it begins off with a day of hiking. Mfundisi arranged for the ladies to meet up with him so that they can go hiking. And whilst that was going on, he actually did mention there are actually 2 ladies that I'm kind of already getting along with. And he mentioned to Carol, to say to Carol from the beginning, from the word go, we just vibed, our conversations, we clicked, you know. And the side your confessional, Carol was just like, he's my cousin. Like she basically friend zoned, actually family zoned the pastor, you know. She was like, I just see a cousin, you know, when when we relate, you know, but you don't know what would happen because cousins get married to each other. And I was just like, hey, Carol is stupid, man, she's silly, you know. So yeah, there was that. And then the second person was Babalo Mfundisi. Was like, nah, man, I just vibe with her, we have great conversation, we have great chemistry. And they showed a little clip, a footage now where they were just holding hands and just having conversation. No, like they look like they are bonding. Hey, they are bonding. Babala is actually that one where they had a sit down in luncheon, and the ladies were like, you're 8 children, whatever. And Babala was like, I can have those kids for you. I can have them for you, you know. So yeah, there was that. And then after that, Mfundisi introduced his friends. He was just making it clear, but you know what, I like my friends to be around, to know you, to get to know you guys. And I actually value their judgment and how they would see you guys outside of me seeing you guys. So he introduced his friends, Ushapfere. And then there was also Kagiso Shapfere. They had a relationship through the pastor, which is through the pastor's dad, because Shapfere used to preach with the dad, and they ended up going into business together with Pastor Wamanje, the son. And yeah, he just got along with the son as well. So that's where they built their relationship. And the other one, KG, was like, yo, we know each other from school, and we just made this pact that we're just going to be fruitful in our friendship, and we're just going to make money. And I love that for them, you know. I wish I had friends where I started with and had a clear plan and path of where our lives are going. And I'm not saying I have bad friends, but I'm just saying there were certain conversations that we did not even think we should partake in, you know. It was just always friends for life, you know, but it was never, you know what, let's make sure that this friendship is fruitful and let us guide ourselves, let us have clear paths of where we are going and growing. So I love that for them, man. I love that for them. So it actually is good because apparently they're in business together and they're just growing together, so kudos. I love that for them. Right, Shapo. And then KG already had like conversations with the ladies, and he already picked up certain things, it's okay, fine. My friend did tell me Guti he wants a beautiful somebody, and the ladies were just like, oh, okay, but that is just one of Elena actually did say Guti, when it comes to looks, sometimes you would miss out on a good thing by actually basing someone on their looks, and that is just not right, So, and then on the confessional velo KG, the friend was just like, I see that they are very independent, and I like that about them, because they're not going to be those women that will just chow my friend's money or chow the church's money, So the fact that they are independent in their thinking, in their abilities, that is a plus for his friend. And then fine, very while they were walking, hiking, and there was a part where they were on some rock, and Jay, Pastor Tejo was just like, let me just hold the ladies up, and just assist them, just to have that gentleman spirit going, and he was up there on the rock, and he was just reaching down and helping the ladies up, which was a good trait, like for someone to notice. If they've noticed, then it means maybe like, hiking will teach you a lot, guys, about someone, so doing that for me was like, okay, there's something I noticed there, that he actually is aware that ladies, they need assistance, not just in this physical way of doing things, but he has the understanding that it is okay for him to reach out. Even though the girls are independent, there is something beautiful and something worthy to praise about, when someone does that. So he pulled them up, Vele, one by one. Vele, they were like, Carol, mischievous. The Carol that says, when I look at you, I look at my Mazala, she actually challenged the pastor, if I could put it that way, because she said on her confessional, I can do it. Womandla, I can do it. I don't need nobody to help me up, But instead of saying that, she actually held her hand up, and while the pastor wanted to pull her up, Bona, she pulled the pastor down. Like for me, there was like, okay, is this like a power struggle of some sort, or is she proving a point of some sort, And for me, it was like, okay, either she's joking or she wants to challenge the pastor's manhood, if I could put it like that, because that was not necessary in a way. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's mischievous. So it was either she was really being mischievous and it's like, I want to show you that I can actually do this. And I can actually do it better than you, in a way that I can pull you down, And for me, that was like, I asazibat, So yeah. After that, while walking, Vele, Ubuhle, they were walking they reached a certain waterfall with a stream of some sort, and Ubuhle stopped there, and then she just went down on her knees and started splashing water upon her face, and apparently she was uttering some words, she was doing some spiritual practice, or like something, a spiritual moment, if we could put it that way. And it was just not, it was just one of those, okay, this is awkward, this is weird, how are you gonna act towards this situation? But she was there, just like, even in a confession, she said, I don't care, like, who's watching, who says what, I will do what I normally do when I reach maybe a river stream, or things that I would normally do, I would still practice, they will have to adjust, but Mina, I'm just okay with doing what I'm doing, And obviously the pastor was like, ish, you know what, Mina, I don't mind, but on the confesh, we'll call it confesh. Pastor was like, no, Mina, I don't mind. It's just that I would have appreciated for her to actually let us know in advance, Uti, you know what, Mina, when I get into certain spaces, there are things that happen, and I would, these are the things that I need from you guys, or these are the things that you should not mind, because it is just me and that moment. that happens when I'm in this type of space, you know. And then one thing to note, Ujeki was just like, why are these people in jeans? Like, did they not get the memo? Like, we are all out here comfortable, preparing for hiking, and all three of them, all three guys were just in jeans, you know. That was just one of those things to note. But yeah, then in true God's child spirit, like if you are someone that is connected with nature or even God and appreciate mountains and rivers and waterfalls, like there is no, like there's no way that you won't be out there in appreciation, in prayer and stuff like that. So they gathered well and they had that beautiful moment where they just prayed and a little chorus nyana afterwards, you know, and then they just went on about their lives and went back to the place or home, you know. And then after Lapoge, in the afternoon, vele, they sat at like a bomber type of vibe in J, you know, around the fire, and they had the conversation again around the earlier things that happened earlier on, you know, and they just the pastor asked the ladies how it was for them, and they all shared their piece, you know. Carol was like, yo, nah, for me the finish was the one for me, you know, the time of prayer and just how we finished off was just beautiful for me. And yeah, there were just all those conversations around that. Then obviously the conversation around Patungwena, and then why, you know, the pulling the Carol situation. And Carol was like, no, I was trying to prove a point, you know. And and then she asked the pastor, Wuti, how do you feel to have someone that is that has more power than you in terms of their personality, their character, and even physicality, you know? Obviously, she was referring to herself being stronger in those areas than the pastor, you know? For me, it was like, oh, okay, like it is one thing to know that you are, and then there is another thing to be like out there and say I am, you know. I don't know, for some reason it comes off as arrogant and it removes the confidence side of it, because I don't know, I just believe be okay with leaving people with dignity, you know. For me there was like a little belittling, and even in the way she said it, you know, it was like okay. But the pastor again was just a little irritated, but he was just like, Mina, I don't doubt my manhood, number one. And number two, there is always a situation where a man falls, and what we can do as men is pick ourselves up, you know. So even if you had pulled me and I actually fell, because when she pulled Vele, like the pull was very strong, you know, it was one of those, you know, to get him Vele. And so I don't know how she was going to feel if actually the pastor fell, you know, all in the name of proving a point, because the way she pulled her, it was like, he was just going to fall. So I guess he had a good grip and balance for him to be like resistant a little bit. So those are things sometimes you have to look at and be like, you know what, this person is gonna be hurt physically and also emotionally, at the cost of me just trying to prove a point that I'm stronger than him in all the areas that I've mentioned, you know. So that was in poor taste, and I really like Carol, but that was in poor taste. But the pastor did say, and he mentioned, which, you know what, even in life, men fall, whether it is ministry, whether it is so many areas of their lives, they fall short, and the only thing they can do is from the ground, you have to get yourself back up. So for me, that was a good answer. That was beautiful. And yeah, now even KG was like, so when I Carol, you pulled the ministry down, you know. When I thought about it in that way, I was like, because if someone already says to you, Timina, I'm bigger than you in this, so meaning there are instances where they will feel like they deserve a bigger voice in certain things, and they will influence the people that in the congregation, and maybe even pull the ministry down, you know, because of that view that they've given themselves, and of esteem, the esteem that they've given themselves, you know. So when KG was like, so basically when I Carol, you were pulling the ministry down, I was like, I don't know if these ladies are hearing what KG is saying in that aspect, or they are just like surface leveling it, you know. So, and then Nelly also, Nelly was just like, hey, me now the way I see Carol Mfundisi, I don't think they will get along in the long run, because Carol likes to, take charge, and it's two men now in this kraal, and two bulls, like it's usually a recipe nje for all the time. And sometimes we just need to understand that there is beauty in being feminine. And feminine, I don't mean nails done, hair done, everything dead, but the softness that we received from the inception, from the garden, from the creation. Like, we have this nurturing spirit. We can actually be powerful in our softness, and not want to always be like, So the more we realize that in our lives, the more peaceful our lives become, because you don't want to compete with anyone. Like, no man, no CEO, or want to put yourself out there in like a little, and I've noticed that's the wave of how we are going, especially in this generation. And literally, like, that is just too much of an effort to try and prove. Can't you can just sit there, nice, with your silent power, bona, with your silent weapons, So yeah, I think that was what Nelly was referring to, not necessarily her outlook or how she looks, but the demeanor and how she likes to do things, And there are people for that, but I don't think Carol Shem for this pastor, because everyone tends to say Uti Vele, the pastor has a little bit of a soft side. So imagine having someone like that. Like, it would look like she's bullying him. It's just those power dynamics, like I mentioned, So yeah. And then Uneli asked about the waterfall situation. Nelly has a lot of questions, eh? Like, Nelly has a lot of questions, and but her questions have a little bit of I don't know how to put it, but they have that thing, Yuti. I'm gonna ask you so that you are on my side, and I'm gonna ask you so that I can bring another person down, that I may look like righteous, if I could put it like that, Her questions are not really like, I'm putting it out there so that I can receive the answer that you have, but they are more directed in a way that I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to see it through this one lens, that you are going to give me feedback that I want, So the little cattynyana, the way she asks questions, and I don't know, man, there's something catty about it, and I don't vibe with that. I don't vibe with that, but it's okay. Anyway, the question was that, so regarding what happened today, how would you feel if you are in certain spaces and you married this person that doesn't share the same beliefs, obviously, and has to do all these practices, How are you going to deal with it? And the multiple choice was like, are you going to pray for her? Are you going to put sniff? If there's a need, when maybe she asks, hey, Ndodam, can you please do this fa? Are you going to lay hands? Are you going to cast out? Those were the questions posed. And the pastor and I mean, the other ladies actually saw what I actually feel about Nelly. She's pushy, man, with her questions, and she wants to push a certain narrative, like sometimes just ask, and just leave space for someone to have their own thinking and how they will break things down. But yeah, man, she wants to know things, and that was good for her to ask. And the pastor's answer was, you know what? I'll just let my wife do what she needs to do. But at the end of the day, when we come back home, I will let her know, Uti, in this house, this is how we do things. And please sort your things out. I don't know what that is. But in my head, I'm like, what is there to discuss, honestly? Because now that means you are going to constantly let her know, Uti, you can't get these things manifesting or during the people, that's like now asking her to now switch her belief system, or I don't know how the pastor, when he answered that, how was that going to work in the spaces that they would find themselves in. When she's at church and she's there, like she mentioned, people will be like, oh, Holy Spirit, and she'd be like, Tonya, You understand? Like, how is that going to work out, And how is she going to cancel people? I mean, because you guys all have to go with the same values, same beliefs, so that even when you get to a point where people want counseling from you, she'll be like, no, yazin path, like, so. And the pastor's like, no, get deliverance, come to my prayer in. Those will be a lot of clashes. And I don't think when he answered that, like, he thought that deep, because he was just like, no, like, I'll just say no, not during the people, but when we get home, I'm going to be like, girl, like, can we have this understanding? You know what, you can do your things, I'll give you your snuff, I'll do this for you, but when we come to these areas, we don't do these things. Like, for me, it's like, no, like, relieve her. Like, there is someone out there for her that is going to love her, that they will share the same belief systems, and they will do their thing, because now you guys are going to have challenges that are not even challenges that are supposed to be yours. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going out there, just fetching, let's say, for example, and I'm not talking about ubuhle, but I'm just saying, Guti, there are certain challenges that we like to fetch that are not even in the line of our destiny or purposes, where we like, okay, these challenges are meant to strengthen me, these challenges are meant to, like, you are just fetching something that this one is just an act of disobedience, just leave it alone, so they're going to be dealing with all those things before they even deal with the challenges of marriage. For me, it's like, oh guys, okay, Mfundisi, I hear your answer, but all right. Then the pastor let the ladies know, it's okay, fine, ladies, there is someone that is going home tonight, and I've brought my friends here to help me out with the decision. So would you please excuse us? And the ladies excused the gentlemen, and they stayed behind discussing the whole thing of choosing a wife, and the friends helping him out. So the friends Vele did say, which, you know what, they are such wonderful women. Katie was like, however, like, you and Bushe, can we discuss the whole thing, that you guys are not on the same WhatsApp group, and that will just cause a lot of conflict that you might not see right now, And Ushapfere also said, Guti, as a pastor, choosing a wife is a very spiritual thing. You can't just look at it with your fleshly eyes and be like, okay, I'll settle in these areas, I'll do this, the way we would with our feelings and all of those things. It is a very serious thing, and it is a spiritual thing, because there are things that they would be building together, even communities, that they'll be building together. So it is not something to play around with. It is very spiritual, and he needs to take that into account, And then the other friend, KG, again was like, maybe what if, just like it is said in the Bible, that the scripture says, come ye, who are heavily burdened, what if that is your assignment to this lady, to help her with her burdens? Fundis was like, whoop, 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 whoop. There is only one Savior. There is only one that died for people that carried their burdens, and that person is Jesus Christ. I ain't no JC, sir. I ain't carrying nobody's burdens. So please remove that from the table. I know it's in scripture, but nope, not in this context. I am not Jesus Christ. I am here to preach and teach about Jesus Christ. I in no way saying that I'm going to be him and I am him. So it was just like, yeah, so the time comes, Vele, where there's elimination, and they are in that decider table, that long last supper table, and Nelly was just like, yo, Kanti, where's my husband? Like, where is he? And in he walks, like, the ladies were all just like salivating, like, yo, you look good, sir, yeah. And then the ladies were just impressed. Even Carol was just like, okay, oh, okay, no, like, he's kind of convincing me right now, So that was nice. He sat down, he was like, okay, thanks, ladies, do you think I have that Solomon thing, And the ladies was, yeah, shame we see it, you good with women, and So yeah, they were just, I liked that they boosted his confidence, nyana, even when he said, you could see his shoulders burning up now, it was no longer the thing of, hi ladies, So I think that is what Kanya was talking about. Uti man, he doesn't have that. So now he brought it, because the ladies are just like, some so it's good, man. And then Ubabala and Ubabala asked the pastor, fine, how was it for you, the hiking experience? Because earlier on he was asking the ladies, so he did mention, no, I actually enjoyed it, and it was tough going up, but the beauty of being up there. And I mean, like, I think with this guy, like, he makes sure there's a sermon somewhere, For me, I was like, okay, or maybe I'm just deep, like people like to say, kinali depth, kinali depth. So when he said that, I was like, ish, man, that is so synonymous with life's challenges, You don't see it when you go up, but when you are there, it's so glorious. And it's like, this is a place where other people can't reach, and I'm seeing the beauty of the other side, So for me, that's what I took away. Maybe I'm the one that likes to take away, like, me not be watching cartoons, and I'm just like, that's a word, So maybe he's not the deep one, maybe I'm the deep one, or maybe he's the pastor, and he makes sure with each and everything that he says becomes something that is of a sermon vibe, So, but anyway, and then he asked Buhle, how was your hiking experience? The pastor asked Buhle. Buhle was like, no, it was nice, it was glorious. I drank the water, and I mean, it was the last time I had that experience. So I was in Drakensberg, and he actually mentioned, no, I'm that person, Mina, that will patter a 5 liter, and just pour the water and just bath with it. The ladies were like, okay, wow. That wow, that is has a little bit of judgment in it. Okay, and what do you do with that water? And she's like, no, I just bath with it. And okay, why? And she just mentioned, no, just for glistening, just for God's water, just to hit my face, And she was just like, for the glow, and it was just like, oh, okay. We get to the business of the night, Vele, where there is an elimination. And the pastor was like, you know what? After deliberating with my friends, we had conversations which helped me. And I'm seeing, Uguti, there are things that I would choose now, but when I would look further, 5 years from now, this is not going to work, and me and this person, we are not going to walk together, and I just reminded a scripture that says, how can two people walk together unless they agree, so they will walk together, but there's going to be so much differences, and they will not agree on so many things, and when he said something like, it's okay for you to not fetch a war unnecessarily. And when he said that, I was like, yes, that is exactly how I felt. That there are other challenges in life, but there are some challenges that we just go out there and fetch, which is unnecessary, So when he said that, I was like, you got it. Even from that time he was speaking about Jonas, and I thank God that his friends were around to remind him, of that. So and then when he said that, it was like, there's a better man out there for this person, because this person is dope, you know what I mean? But we just gonna clash on so many things and so many levels. And I was like, respect, and then before he mentioned who was going home, he was like, actually, let me clarify something, ladies. There is something that I don't like about someone wanting to feel better by belittling another person. He did not say it in those words, but that's what he meant. There are other ladies that will show certain people's weaknesses or insecurities or whatever in that moment and put a spotlight on them so that they become the target, And for me, I think he was speaking about Uneli. He did not say who it was, but he was just saying, that backbiting, that cattiness, I'm not for it, Let other people just be, and then I will choose. But don't be that person that brings people's flaws out on the spotlight so that we may see them, and then when you are just there and you're like, there's a dagger on you, there's a target on you, you know. So I think it was Nelly, because she has that tendency of just posing questions, and you know very well, but you know that question is not coming from you. It's not coming from you really wanting to know, but it's coming from I saw that person drinks alcohol, for example. So I'm just going to pose a question around that person's drinking alcohol, you know, so that I can highlight and make the pastor aware. This person, remember, that person was drunk last night. So let me pose a question and say, how would you feel if a wife, your potential wife, gets drunk? And you know, like, it's like pushing that other person's spotlight, and it comes off as self-righteous, and it's got all these undertones, man, and it's not nice. And the pastor actually identified that. I'm not saying he said that it is Nelly, but on my side, that's what I saw, more Nelly, you know. So for him to say that to the ladies, Guti, that's not nice. Ladies, I don't appreciate that. Please stop it. I was like, kudos. We enjoy it away. Now we enjoy it, you know. But anyway, we know, well, we don't know, but who went home is Ubuhle. I know Ubuhle was like, I respect him. I respect his views. I respect his decision. So that was just cool, you know. That was cool and mature, and it ended off on a good note. That was it for the night. Buhle was the only one that went home, and yeah, I just love that they were just cool, you know. They had their understanding with, yeah, no, man, yes, yeah, we would love to, but yeah, no, as the pastor said, conflict of interest, you know. So I respect that. And that's it with episode 3. And oh, let me say my top 3. You know, actually I have a top 1. Mina ngithandela Elina Mandla. Like, I just love silent power. I think I just love it. And then number 2 would be Carol. Carol, I like her because there's something there, you know, where she's out there and has that personality, but there's something about her that tells me, this one is probably just a cover up, you know, and she's just going to be such a dope guy for the past dope lady for the pastor. So I don't know, that, like, I like her as well. There's something about her. Then top number 3 is Ubabalwa. Not that she's my favorite, but I think the pastor likes Ubabalwa, and they just vibe, and she also has this calm demeanor about her, but also that you know. So she's a balance. She's actually a balance of Elina Mandla no Carol. So I think Ubabalwa is that balance, you know. So I will see, though. We'll see if things change, or how the pastor sees people and how it unfolds, you know, where you get to see other people's sides and you're like, how mara, but you know, for me, according to what I've seen so far from episode 1 to 3, Elina Madafuti Energy, for me, from episode 1, I was like, unale awareness, queen man, she's got this awareness, you know. But yeah, we'll see. But that is my top 3. The other ladies in jail, they have these things about them that I'm just like, ish. Let's just work on those things, you know. I know we're not perfect, but Nje, yeah. Hey, Mara, would have loved Usi's Angie to be a part of everything, yo, guys. Like, I feel like there was gonna be a little bit of rushki, you know, because of the person that she is, Nje. Like, being at Nje, she was going to be so dramatic and bring so much color into everything, and debates and arguments, I think. But anyway, that's episode 3. So we're gonna do episode 4 and just cash up. By next week Wednesday, we must have dealt with all 4 episodes, so that we are on par with the guys, you know, with the actual channel that is doing the show, which is Mzansi Magic. And guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. Thank you for subscribing in advance. Thank you in advance. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your engagement, guys. Thank you. And I know, I understand that, you know, for some people it's hard for them to engage on the comments. There are others that would WhatsApp me, like people that know me. There are others that would just be like, you know what, we see you, but there's that reservation of commenting, of which I think in the long run things will just happen, man. Things will just happen. So thank you guys, thank you for it all, and thank you for being a part of this journey. Love you guys. Bye.